Hi there, Titans, and welcome back to another Titan Academy video. Today we'll be talking about how you can affect elements on your project using the affected elements node. Let's get started. So you can trigger this from any condition or any button or really anything that has an on-click action and can trigger an action flow. And basically, you can select affected elements here. You can of course also search for this. And here you'll see all the elements on your project. Now you can filter those down to see based on a specific page, based on an element that was already affected in this action or not yet affected in this action. And of course you can always see everything on the project by clicking all. Now there are a number of different actions that we can trigger, so let's run through them. Show or hide elements. We can enable or disable elements on our project so that, for example, our end user cannot input into an input field. We can make fields mandatory or not mandatory. And of course, again, this can be dynamically based on a condition or based on some kind of on-click action. We can activate items on a, let's say, radio button or pick list. We can set the color or the background color for an element. We can set focus to a particular element. So for example, if we had a form with a lot of scroll and at the bottom we wanted to refocus to the top of the form or to a particular place in the form, we can run a set focus to a specific element. We can set value. So setting value would be to set some kind of static value and attribute that to a particular element. We can also set value from a different element, and here we can choose which element we want to take the value from and attribute it to one of our elements here. We can also set items from JSON. This would be if you had a pick list and you wanted to dynamically decide what items are going to be in that pick list. So you can format your list separated by semicolon and then set the items from that list. We can set a custom value where we can use a value from fields on the project or a field on the project and concatenate that together with either static text or other fields from the project. And we can run an animation. So if we have an animation on a particular element and we want to run that, trigger that animation, we can do so. We can clear the items. So if we have certain selected items on a element, we can clear those items out. We can also reset the value of an element. So we might have an input field with some text that we can reset and clear. And we can increment and decrement a number. For example, I may have a variable with a number in there that I want to be able to add or subtract one from dynamically. All right, so let's do just a short example here. Let's do a set color, and we'll set a particular color to this text field. We'll make it purple, apply that. And as you can just see, in order for this to work, I need to click apply so that it applies the action to the correct element here. And we'll say color text. Let's apply that and we'll preview. And now if I click on my button, we can see that my text has changed color. Let's do another example. I'm going to do this one on the page level. And I already have a static variable for name. And what I want to do is take the value of name and add it to my text over here, but not just the name. I want to add it to a whole string of static text with this dynamic value that I'm actually going to pass through the URL. So one way to do that, and there are multiple ways to do this, but just to demonstrate using affected elements, I can, as an every time action here, run an affected element, and I can affect my text field to set a custom value. And this custom value is going to be some static text like welcome, and here's where I'll insert that name. So we'll say welcome name, enjoy your time with us. What I'm doing here is taking some static text and just concatenating it with a field, in this case a parameter. It can also be an input field, it doesn't matter. And then we are going to affect this text field with this string. Of course, we can use multiple dynamic fields in our text here. Go ahead and apply, and we'll apply here. And if I ever want to edit this custom text, I can just click on pencil icon here, and that will bring up my ability to configure, and I can come right back in here. All right, let's do set custom text. We'll insert this, and let's try it out. So when I first preview, we're just going to see the static text without any dynamic because we haven't populated that variable yet. Let's go ahead and populate that variable. So I'm going to add in my URL that the name equals Justin, for example. And now we can see, welcome Justin, enjoy your time with us. Let's do one more small exercise just to see kind of the extent of what you can do here. I have a drop-down field, and we talked about being able to dynamically populate the items. Off the bat, my items here are item 1, item 2, and item 3. I want to actually give different items. I'm going to take the items from my variable here, items for pick list. Of course, I can dynamically populate this, but I'm just going to give it a default value. And what I'm going to do here is take those items and make those the new items for my pick list. So let's go into here. I'm going to get rid of this action, and instead I'm going to do an action to my drop-down field, and I'll do set items from JSON, and I'll select my variable here that holds my items that I want to populate with. Okay, let's do set items from JSON to pick list. All right, and this will work with any kind of pick list field, so multi-select, drop-down, radio, anything like that. And we can see that off the bat, we just have item 1, item 2, and item 3. But now I can click on this button, and now you can see that my items have been taken from my variable. I have here apple, banana, and orange, and pineapple. All right, so as you can see, there's a whole lot that you can do with these affected elements. You can trigger these from any kind of condition, any kind of on-click action, and this will really give you a lot more flexibility to affect your project while the end user is interacting with it. And that's how it's done.